Bernhard H Mayer, Powermaster first. £1,500, €1,700, $2,000. That's how much this bad boy costs. There's a lot of competition at this price point, but is this left field choice going to be worth your attention? So what spec do you get for your £1,500, €1,700, approximately $2,000? So 146 grams, thanks to GPAS, which is a nice comfortable weight. It's a 44K size, not including this crown and these crown guards. 54 lug to lug. This crown's actually big. It's an 8mm crown. It's a screw down one, as is the exhibition case back, but we'll get there in a bit. The strap goes from 20mm down to 18, and we have a deployant class, which is where you can pop this off and move it to all the different settings. Deployant's good for two reasons. One, it doesn't cause much deformation in the rubber strap. It's also popular on leather straps as well. It's also good for if for whatever reason this pops open, you're not going to have your watch lightly fly off completely. So it's good for two reasons. But this has got a lovely perlage and brush finish on here. Very smart. We've got 100 meters water resistance, which is typical, I'd say, for a lot of boating watches, but it would have been nice for them to say maybe 150, 200, but it probably could take. The reason why I say that, because you've got screw down crown and screw down case back. Those kind of things normally add up to at least 100, which is what this has. Bezel is 120 click, got a nice light action, very precise. You feel every single click. There's no wobble in it, but it does have this sort of springy part, sort of back play, but it's normal. It doesn't feel cheap or anything. That's just how it feels. It doesn't quite line up. As you can see here, it's not absolutely spot on, unfortunately. The bezel is really well filled. It's ceramic, blue ceramic, as you can see, really high polish. And the paint on the inside of where it's filled in all the numbers here, it's almost flush, which I don't see that very often. It's really well done. This is sapphire. The back is mineral, this bit here. This is AR coated as well to help reduce glare. Movement inside is a high-beat Salita SW200, which is a Swiss movement. It's a Swiss clone of the ETA movement, the ETA movement 2824. It's not running great in this movement, unfortunately. I've double checked it, triple checked it, and it's still running at plus 25 a day, and that is bad. So I think it needs regulating, to be honest, guys. But I don't know what's going on with this. I'm surprised, because this is the only one I've had that's not been running within plus minus 5 seconds a day. The Lume inside these indices and the two hands, which are skeletonized, by the way, check that out, that's nice. It's C3, but it's not very good. It doesn't hold out very long. I don't think it's had many layers put in there. It's neatly applied and it looks okay, but it's not a Lume monster, unfortunately, which is a surprise, because I've seen many other watches for this price or significantly less which have far better Lume. Lots of lovely brushing on here, mostly brushed, to be honest with you, but it's been really well done. Nice to have it running that way. And the polished aspects of these bits here, nice, it almost looks like it's been sliced off. Really adds to this angular effect. You've got these two little slabs here integrating into the rubber strap. Very cleverly done with some little screws here. Nice, really nice, easy to grip crown, which is easy to unwind, and the hand winding is very smooth, buttery smooth. A little bit of resistance, so it's not one you're going to be rushing. Never rush these movements with hand winding. And the dial's got this lovely grained texture. Just catch it there. It's not obvious. It's not like on a Railmaster, for example, which got a real deep graining to it. But this is more very subtle, and it almost looks black in this light, and then when the sun hits it at certain angles, it's a deep blue. So it does play with the light interestingly, and then just to add a bit of contrast and a huge splash of colour, massive seconds hand, which is that you get to really see it contrasting against the dark dial. Now we need to get down to a lot more nitty gritty, because there's a bit more to discuss about this piece. Well, I think it could be a little bit more interesting, and a few things I'd like to maybe change about it. Hope you find that interesting. See you in a sec. So now you know the stats and specs. A very brief bit of history. I know some people, they're going to switch off straight away. Please don't. You need a bit of history behind this brand, because it's forming part of the story. Origins in the town Pforzheim, and that is a nickname or quote, city of gold. And it started out making and selling dies, which are tools for minting coins. They were doing that for a very long time. It wasn't until the year 2000 they formed a partnership with this is quote, young direct selling company. And 2006 is actually when they started making watches in the new facility under the tradition of excellence. And effectively that's what making these dies and tools for minting coins was, a tradition of excellence. And that's kind of the backstory behind Bernhard H Mayer. This weird leap from tools for minting coins to Swiss watches. This is an unusual transition. That's where this watch intrigues me. So why do I say this is a sailing watch? It ticks all these following boxes I got from a jeweler's online of what makes a sailing watch, boating watch. Easy to read, AR coated, glass reduce the glare, waterproof, timing method of any means, and a rubber strap or a bracelet, appropriate for getting wet. This ticks all these boxes. So this is a left field choice for people that want something a bit more unusual. Again, £1,500 is kind of a weird price bracket because you're stepping into getting a bit more serious into your Swiss watches. For example, there's Oris, you've got top end Tissots, you've got Longines, you can even get some Rados, there's tags. I would put this in the left field boating watch category, but it's still a lot less expensive than a lot of other competitors out there that are in this kind of boating category. So the Rolex Yachtmaster, for example, this is significantly less. So now we've got this history and a bit of a backstory why it's definitely a sailing watch. The reason why I'm talking about it is because there's points I'm going to make in a bit which are relevant and connected to why I think there could be some improvements to link to their lineage and history. The pros are pretty good. Almost 50-50 this watch. I'll give you a heads up already. It's 50-50. The pros are it's a left field choice. Like I've said a moment ago, I like its chunky styling. It makes a statement. If you want a watch that stands out and you've got a big wrist, this is an awesome watch for that. It really does jump off the wrist, if you know what I mean, as a oh, that's nice. It's impressive. It catches the light, all the angles, really good. I like the lovely rubber strap. It's beautiful, it's soft, it's supple, it's very comfortable. And the deploying clasp is incredibly beautifully made with the perlage on it and so well machined and precision engineered. It feels like a very quality piece. General machining and the finishing is very good. The brushing and the few polished elements, the ceramic bezel inserts, beautiful quality. I mean, it's been very well filled. All the, see where they've engraved out for the numbers and then filled it in with the paint. It's almost flush. Obviously, there's no lume in there because it's not a dive watch, so that enables it to have a very sort of crisp and clean look. Now the pro is the Salita movement. Got a big crown. I like a big crown. This winding action on this watch is beautiful, so smooth and really easy. And I love the etching that's on the rotor, and I love the colour. I love the blue. You know me, I like a blue watch. I think half of my reviews are blooming blue watches or green ones. You get the idea. Move on to the cons. This is where it gets a bit interesting. There's no bracelet option, just the rubber strap on this one. There's not enough colour options. I wish there was more choice available. There are too many other alternatives for this same price point. It's a very, very difficult market at this price for the competition. I've got an Oris that costs the same as this. Honestly, would I choose the Bernhard H Mayer over the Oris? No, because I've already got an Oris, of course. I prefer the more consistent and entirely watch-related back history. It needs to have one little niche or thing to twist it to really make it stand out, and that's what I'm going to discuss in a moment, which is an idea I've had. Two little quality control issues, or three actually. One, a speck of dust under the dial. Two, the bezel doesn't quite line up. It's probably a mil out, lining up at the 12 o'clock position. Third, the movement. I've checked it's not magnetized. It's running too fast, way too fast. Here's an idea I would suggest for improvements for this watch. One, instead of having an exhibition case back, why not have in the middle part of that case back a coin, a medal of a different color tone, something like that, show tribute to that part of Bernhard H Mayer's lineage and history. Why not have that? Instead of a mineral exhibition case back to look at a mildly modified Salita movement. That's my first suggestion. Second one, have some more color choices. And third choice would be have more bracelet option, have it wider as well. I mean, it looks nice how it jumps from wider at the case to then immediately it's very slim there. Can look a bit odd. I think they could have had a taper out or something like that. I think that's something else I would improve as well. A few tiny little quality control issues, which I don't actually think, I'm sorry to say this, they're not quite acceptable. And the last big doozy, even though it's not entirely appropriate for a yachting watch, the Lume is as good as a £90 Accurist. Yes. So on that note, would I recommend this watch to you? If you like a left field choice, you have a budget of about £1,500 and you want something that's very rare and unusual, why not? Go for it. It's definitely an unusual choice. I've run through everything with 100% honesty. That's just my opinion, guys, and I'm backing it up with just my observations from having the watch. So if you've enjoyed watching this video, I really appreciate your thumbs up, your liking and comment. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. It'd be awesome to have you join the gang. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. In the meantime, bye for now.